Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Well, it's official. The PokemonCenter.com website is officially out of all booster boxes. There's pretty much no more sealed products currently available. There are no more booster boxes or booster bundles or any of those blister packs, any of those at all. The ETBs are also fully sold out. There's no ETBs for sale on the Pokemon Center website. There's a couple of small items that are still available for sale, but pretty much everything is fully sold out. So today's video, I wanted to talk about that. What occurs in this scenario? Because this is not the first time that this has happened. Where will prices go? Where will things end up? And as well as some of the upcoming news on which set is being reprinted and restocked. And I'm going to tell you guys my general strategy for how I'm going to approach it as a collector. And you're free to approach it however you want, but I at least wanted to share my insight, and you're free to agree or disagree with it however you want. So what is currently available on the Pokemon Center website is the Sword and Shield Astral Radiance Build and Battle Stadium, as well as the Build and Battle box. These are fantastic. My wife and I love opening up Build and Battle Stadiums on Friday nights. It's a really great self-contained experience because you get to draft and play the TCG. You get yourself 1 to 2 hours of fun, and at the same time you get to rip open 12 booster packs because that's how many is inside of these Build and Battle Stadiums. So a very solid experience and great bang for your buck in terms of value if you're someone that actually wants to play the TCG, as well as just to rip open a couple packs and experience the fun of it. A lot of people I see are trying to enter the hobby and they're complaining about how expensive a Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box is, and I absolutely agree. $140 for a Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box is way too expensive, but that's not how you want to approach collecting the hobby as a brand new collector. This Astral Radiance Build and Battle Stadium, still a fantastic product. Outside of that, most of the other products are still available for sale, are poor pack to cost ratio. If you're wondering why the UPC is still available, if you're wondering why the Combined Powers collection is still available, pretty much all of these products I've reviewed on my channel, and you can find those reviews. And the basic of it is that all of these products have very few packs for how much they cost. Like the Trainer's Toolkit from 2021. This thing has 4 booster packs. 4 booster packs for $30 is just a bad deal. So that's why this thing is still available. Beyond the Build and Battle Stadiums and the Astral Radiance Build and Battle box, the only other item that I would say is decent value, and it's still pretty solid because you get yourself 4 booster packs for 22 bucks, which is not that bad of a deal. It's still not a great deal, and that's one of the reasons why it's still available, because you get yourself, I think, like Paradox Rift booster packs, which is not a bad set, but clearly not like the top tier set that you want to rip open right now. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much bottom of the barrel products in terms of nothing that people really want. These are some of the least desirable products. I still think the Astral Radiance Build and Battle Stadium and the Build and Battle box is just solid product to go to. So let's talk about where does this takes us in terms of the cost of the set, the cost of the booster box, and some of the restocks and reprints into the future. And to do that, we are going to use the Collector app, which is my go-to collecting tracking app. I have my whole entire Pokemon card collection tracked on the Collector app. So if you go on Collector, you can actually see my whole entire collection, showcase all the cards and products that are inside of my collection, my official collection. And I do keep it updated quite often, so you can actually see how many cards I have, which cards I have, which cards are going up and down. And the crazy thing about the app is that it shows you a bunch of other people's collections as well, not just mine. So you can see a bunch of other collectors' collection. It's a little bit of a LinkedIn or social media for collectors, so everyone can see each other's collections. We can do trades because you can immediately see, oh, that guy has that card I want. I have the card that he wants. Perhaps we can do a trade. And obviously we can DM each other and stuff like that. And the Collector app is also great for just tracking Pokemon cards because I can see the ups and down prices on all of these really cool cards, how much it used to cost, how much it's currently going for, as well as all of the information that I might want to need to collect this card in the future. It's an amazing app. It's available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So definitely check out the collector app, and feel free to make a comment about my collection if you want to think that some cards I have are terrible or other cards are fantastic. Feel free to let me know what your opinions are. So thank you so much to Collector for sponsoring today's video. Looking at the booster box prices, we have Surging Sparks booster boxes, which are going for $250. My recommendation, do not pick this up. $250 is extremely expensive. It's definitely on the higher end. There's a ton of risk with that because there is going to be a restock and reprint of Surging Sparks. And I do think it's going to drop. It's not going to drop back down to $100, but it could realistically drop down to $200 or even $180 a booster box, and even those are better prices than $250, $260. Evolving Skies is currently staying strong at between $1,200 to $1,400. That is not moving anywhere. These are some of the most popular sets that people are currently picking up. Fusion Strike, very solid. Lost Origin, these are decent pickups right now if you want one to have sealed inside of your collection. These are not going to be restocked or reprinted in any way. Some of the other sets that I would definitely be on the lookout for are pretty much anything from Paldea Evolved outwards, because the news that I got, and I can only speak this for myself, I do know a couple of other content creators have gotten into hot water for talking about how they know all the ins and outs about distributions, when really they're talking about one distributor, and we're all hearing different noises. And the basic of what I heard is that every single set from Paldea outward, excluding the special sets like 151 and Paldean Fates, stuff like that, but pretty much all of the main series sets from Paldea Evolve outward is getting reprinted. The interesting thing about that is that Scarlet and Violet base, which is considered one of the worst sets in terms of the illustration rares and stuff inside of the set. There's a bunch of cool cards inside of it. I love this set, but people don't love it because it doesn't have some of the spicier hits that you get yourself inside of like Stellar Crown and Twilight Masquerade and Surging Sparks. But Scarlet and Violet is not being restocked and reprinted, so I do think that its price is going to stay strong. Whereas all these other Scarlet and Violet era sets that came out after it will see a drop in terms of their general price. We do not know when this large restock and reprint is happening. We don't even know how large it is going to be, but I do think it's going to be quite large. Enough that it will make a solid dent on the hobby, in that once prices start dropping, once people know that there are more products coming out, once things start dropping, right, the demand for purchases goes down significantly, right? Because you have no reason or precedence to pick up a Paradox Rift booster box today if you know it's going to be $5 cheaper next week and $10 cheaper the week after that, right? If you know that all of these booster boxes prices are currently dropping, that changes your perspective on how many you're willing to buy. You're thinking, well, why would people stop buying them if their prices start to go down? But the reason people stop buying booster boxes when they go down is that they get cheaper and cheaper. You have no incentive to buy, right? There's all of the incentive right now to pick up these booster boxes because they're going up and up. You would absolutely pick up this booster box right now for $140 because you know it might be $150, $160, $170, $180 the week after and after that. When prices are going up, people will happily pick up booster boxes all day long. But when prices are going down, people stop buying those boxes. People start saying, hang on, I don't need to pick up a Surging Sparks booster box anymore. Let's say a Surging Sparks booster box is currently $260 right now, right? And I know that there's an immediate large restock and reprint of it in 2 weeks. I don't know that right now, but in a certain point in the future, that restock and reprint will happen, right? And then I get a bunch of people start calling me and saying, hey, you want to pick up this booster box for $250? I'm going to say, no, I think I'm going to pass on that. And the reason I'm saying I'm going to pass on that, even though they're giving me a $10 discount because it used to be $260, now they're selling it for $250. The reason I'm passing on that is because I know the week following that is going to be $240, and the week following that is going to be $230, and the week following that is going to be $220. When prices are starting to drop, there's no incentive to pick up the booster boxes at higher prices. if you're a collector personally. If you're someone that's in the business of buying and selling Pokemon cards, like if you own a Pokemon card shop, it's very different because you actually have to keep some inventory in stock, and you don't want to run out of inventory. That's like one of the worst cases because then people stop showing up into your store. So I do understand why stores have to price these at market because they need to have stock on the shelf, and you can agree or disagree with that. But absolutely, prices are slowly starting to come down. If we look at some of the card prices, right, let's look at the Drowsy. If I click on the Drowsy, this card used to be $80 when it was being market manipulated. And I talked about this, which is that basically when a card gets market manipulated up, suddenly the incentive is to sell the card, because if you own this card and it used to be $35, you want to sell it because it's worth a lot more now. And that's what's happening. I was telling people, if you own this Drowsy in a PSA 10, you should probably sell it for $800. And that's nothing against this Drowsy. It's a fantastic card. But the reason I say to sell it is because you can pick up a lot of other, probably way more cool cards and way less riskier cards for $800 than this Drowsy. And it has dropped down in price because it's a cool card, but is it really an $800 illustration rare? That's not for me to decide. That's for the general collecting audience to decide. A lot of cards are pretty much slowly declining right now. The market's definitely cooling off, regardless whether you and I agree with that. I do see the market cooling off right now. We have ourselves the Umbreon VMAX still staying strong and had this really odd dip for a period of time, which I talked about. But the prices on the PSA 10s have definitely started to cool off just a little bit. We reached a high of, I think, actually over $3,000 for a very small period of time there in January. And it dropped down to, it's currently going for right around $2,300. I would actually agree with that. So collectors actually absolutely right on this one. PSA 10 went from $3,000 in January down to $2,300. And that's a significant drip. Obviously, it used to be way more expensive. But if you pick up this card for $3,000, you're not going to be very happy to know that 1 month from now, it's suddenly worth $700 less, right? But if you're picking up this card, perhaps that's money that's available for you to flex. But a bunch of other cards are slowly declining. I don't have too many cards collected from the 151 English set. I have a couple from the ones that I pulled, but the reason I don't have too many of them is because 151, while it's still very popular, it did have quite the large reprint. I can see PSA copies of the Charizard EX in a PSA 10 actually going for below $900. Some are going for like $750 actually even now. So this card is slowly just petering. It's still doing quite well. Like, this card is still fantastic, and 151 is a fantastic set. But there are large restocks of it out there. I know that those large restocks are being consumed immediately, but there are large restocks of them out there. So what's happening is that people are consuming it, but that's still a lot of Charizard EX singles out there. A lot. You know, pallet loads of 151s have been unloaded onto Costco floors. Blooming Waters collection boxes did sell out immediately, but that's still a ton of 151 packs being added to the market in pretty much every single card shop. So that will impact the card prices. So it'll be interesting to see if this card remains high into the foreseeable future. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in today's video. Currently, all booster packs, in terms of like the packs, like the simple blister packs, as well as the ETBs, are fully sold out from the Pokemon Center shop. If you look at the website, very, very few items are currently available. These, I think, are still decent items. There's still a couple of decent picks up in terms of a value standpoint, but we are reaching the absolute bottom of the barrel right now. And because we know that there is a large restock in the booster box grouping, I would keep my eyes out on these. A lot of these booster boxes, the ones that are being reprinted, like Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Stellar Crown, Obsidian Flames, a lot of these Scarlet and Violet era sets, I do think their prices are going to go down by probably 40 to 50 bucks. So this Temporal Forces box, the Paradox Rift box, Stellar Crown, all these boxes, I could see them dropping by right around 50 bucks. Surging Sparks could go down to $200 a booster box. It would have to be a very large, sizable restock for Surging Sparks to go back down to 150. I think the optimal price for booster boxes is right around 120 to 130, because at 120 or 130, I think most people are happy picking up booster boxes at those prices. And at the same time, it gives enough margins for stores to make money. When booster boxes used to go for $80 to $100, stores were close to losing money. They were pretty much selling those at cost. They really weren't making any money selling booster boxes. They were making money on other stuff, but the booster boxes were just to keep customers happy. But I think at 120, 130, I think that's the sweet spot where customers are happy, stores are happy, and the Pokemon company is happy. The Pokemon company is not happy with these prices. I can tell you that. You might think that they're happy about it, but they're not selling booster boxes at those prices, guys. Once they sell these booster boxes onto the market, they're not making any additional revenue, right? They're selling out of their products, but once they're onto the open market, that's other people trading these now. The Pokemon company does not have any money to be made at these Surging Sparks booster box prices, right? Because they are not selling those booster boxes at these prices. So it'll be interesting to see how large the restock on future booster boxes are going to be. But I do think there's going to be a drop in the future, not right now. We will probably reach a point where these boxes are all $200 because that restock is not happening immediately. Booster boxes will probably all reach $200, and then we'll see that decline in 2 or 3 months once most stores get their large restocks of these sets. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're just covering up the latest news on the hobby right now. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys next time.